Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
Hey up everyone, we do love you Leeds. Oof, what a day. Hope everyone's doing well. Just finished a video with my mate Jam. Some of you'll know he's been on all the Leeds Bros channels, he's been on One Leeds. Just finished a video with him for Full Time to Talk. We're gonna premiere that tomorrow night. I had a busy couple of days, something happened at home yesterday, and then busy day today with bits and bobs where it meant normally it'd be going live now or maybe an hour ago as a premiere, but we've pushed it. We've done the video. We're going to push it to tomorrow night. So please, if you haven't already, check out Full Time to Talk, our mental health channel where we talk football, talk mental health, get a guest on once a week now. It looks like, and yeah, put the world to rights and share some stories, and yeah, so just done that. So now putting my Leeds cap back on. But yeah, thanks so much, Jam. I know you're watching now as well. So thanks so much for coming on there. And yeah, that'll be going live tomorrow or premiere tomorrow at 9. So make sure you come over if it's your sort of thing and be in the chat, because Jam really wants that interaction with you guys as well when we're watching it. So yeah, but I've had to take some notes. You know me, I don't do notes. I come on here and I sort of wing it. It's just my style. But I've actually had to take some notes because what's been happening in the Leeds United sphere, you know, Sunderland and all that as well. But it's quite comical now, the Sunderland thing for me. I'm not letting it get me down. Too much shit in life to get down about. Sunderland getting a couple of players because I paid a bit more than Leeds United. It's not gonna burn my spirit, to be honest. But there's quite a lot going on, so I've actually had to take some notes. Otherwise, I'd forget something. You know, I've just thought of another one there. I'm gonna have to mention. I'll note that down now because there's so much seems to be happening. We said, didn't we? We've all sort of said. 1st of July will come along and things will start happening, and whether it's good or bad, there's a lot to talk about. So we'll see who's in. Tezza, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Danny Talks Leeds. I always almost say sport, Danny, but Danny Talks Leeds. Thanks for being here. Please like, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Let me try and say this right. Wands looketh help desk. Probably murdered that, mate. I'm not bothered what other teams are doing, only watching what Leeds are doing in the transfer window, and we only get players what Farker wants. Yeah, I'm all about that too, mate. If the thumbnail hopefully just grabs people in, I'm not asked about the Sunderland thing at all. I really quite like the dynamic of having the banter and stuff with the fans. I'm going to start pushing the show that I've got for this channel going forward for this season. Me and Wayne at Only Fools and SAFC, we are doing a new show called Bridging the Gap, which is paying homage to Michael Bridges, who played for both clubs. But yeah, bridging the gap between Championship to Premier League. Who can survive? Can either of us survive? The battle between the season. I had him on this channel a lot last season, even though they're a bit of a promotion battle there. It fizzled off and we ended up 24 points in front of him, which I'll remind him quite a lot, I think, this season. But there were no sort of like nastiness there between fan bases. I'm not saying it's got nasty now, but it's the dynamics change a little bit from being really friendly and fun, and yeah, it's changed a little bit. I can see it. I've got some of Wayne's subscribers have come over here. They may be in chat now. We'll catch up and see, and vice versa. But this is definitely a set up, a nice dynamic for a Leeds and Sunderland weekly show to see how we go on. So yeah, I'm quite liking how this has started. I'm buzzing with it, to be fair. It's not the be all and end all right now. There's plenty of time left in window, but it's caused quite a good dynamic for me and Wayne. Danny, as always, puts links in chats. So if you're not familiar with these, please check them out. They're really good people, really doing the bit on YouTube, pushing the content. You just need more eyes on them. So you've got Wilco White's, one of my best mates on scene, Sean, marching on with Sean. Sean Ely, a lot of you'll know him. Please check his channel out as well. It's only been going a couple of weeks. Really great guy, fun guy, knows his stuff. Callum at Passion for Leeds. Full Time to Talk, which is a mental health channel I was just discussing. Danny Rumsey, of course, is Danny Talks Leeds. Check him out, please, as well. Love it. There, good evening. Thanks, mate, so much. Thank you. Let's get through some of these chats. I get so far behind, as you know. Watching this could get bumpy in the chat tonight. Yeah, it could, depending who comes in. Start back you up. Yeah, hope everyone's all right anyway. Jammy, hey, mate. Saw Matty on the Just Joe Football Show. Really good communication. Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, I had a really nice afternoon with Joe and a little bit of time with Jared as well. Really nice to, obviously, I've met Joe at the parade and stuff, but really nice to have had a bit of a heart to heart. You know what I'm like. I'm quite an emotional guy. I'm quite deep. It'd be nice to have a proper chat with Joe about football, but about life. You know, we've both got sons with autism, me and Joe, so we've got a lot in common. It was just really nice just to have a heart to heart with Joe. A couple of hours, me and him, just putting world to rights. So if he sees this, which he probably won't, if he does, yeah, big up Joe, man. Really nice. Okay, who ain't hit the like button? Hey up, Mr. Whitesnake. Hope you're well, Stevie, too, mate. I'm loving content you're doing. Please check out Mr. Whitesnake's channel as well, Danny. If you haven't put it in, will you bang it in if you don't mind, mate? Yeah, and your Facebook, you're putting a lot of mental health videos out too, which is close to my heart, as you know. So I appreciate the work you're doing, mate. And I hope you're doing okay. Evening, all up, Ina. Hope you're well. Priestley smiling at the Matty meltdown is always epic. It is, mate. We love you, Matty. Matty, cheers, buddy. Oh, is it again? We've got some of these in. All right, Matty. Not a bad day to be a Sunderland fan. Evening. It's like I've got these residential Sunderland fans now that just come and we haven't even started the content, me and Wayne, so it's going to get quite good. What we're going to do with the channel, with the show as well, it's going to be alternate weeks. So it's going to, I think the first one's on next Tuesday on Wayne's channel. So I'm obviously going to promote it and try and get plenty of Leeds fans over to support Wayne and his channel too. He's a great guy. He just supports the wrong team, but it's his hometown club, and it's going to be great. And then the week after, it'll be on my channel. And hopefully, he'll bring a flock of Sunderland fans, and we'll just have hopefully a really good discussion about both clubs and where they're at, and moving forward. Healthy banter with there'll be no shit tolerated on this channel. Banter's fine. I love it. It's part of football. Take banter away from football, I ain't interested, if I'm honest. I love that jeopardy. I love not knowing if you're going to win. And yeah, the thought of, you know, if it falls on me going on his channel when the week we play Sunderland, say, and we get beat, it's one of them feelings of having to go with your tail between your legs and be like, right, come on, let's have it. And I'm here for that. So yeah, I'm hoping both sets of fans come together under, you know, our communities, and we have a right good stream every week, every other week on alternate channels. It's going to be brilliant. Need Premier League players, Arthur. I know, mate. It's still early days up. I'll like and subscribe. Evening, Matty. Long time no speak. Yeah, mate. It's been about 7 minutes, Jam. Thanks for tonight, buddy. Get subbing to full time to talk, not half time to talk. Yeah, that's it, Sean. Can tell my mate. Honestly, I didn't realise till I come on here tonight. I'm really sunburned. It was playing tricks with me with weather today because it was cloudy, a bit of rain, and then it kept on coming out. It's sun, but Mr. Joe Wayman didn't get tanned. He's already fantastic. Most important for me is we buy Perry from. Yeah, we'll get into it. Sunderland are obviously heavily linked now. We're signing Petrovic. If they drop Petrovic and sign Perry from Leon John, we'd have something to say, won't we? But yeah, buying cheap replacement again, like last time in Premier League, went wrong with players. Rocco, yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Sunderland are doing similar to what we did the first time we got promoted, spending a lot of money. Like we spent 30 million on Rodrigo. Was that the right deal at the time? Probably not. Yeah, I think a lot of fans are quick to jump on this now. I'm looking at it from a different perspective, and it depends. You know, if you're usually quite a positive fan, if you're usually a positive fan, I don't think you'll be worried right now or peed off. I sort of think if you live on that glass half empty side of life, I can see why you'd see negatives. But we've only just entered July and we've already got 3 signings done. 2 of them may not be starters. I did a video a few nights ago, didn't I, where I discussed the possibility that they'll come in, I think, through our eyes as squad players, a couple of them. I think BO will start. But I do believe these players have the capability of pushing. You know, you play for Germany, you play for Belgium. These are no mugs. They'll be looking at Leeds United, a newly promoted club, thinking we can start, we can push, we can play in this side. So I think having them as bench options, which I think they'll start as, is brilliant depth for us. There's issues with their injuries, issues with them not playing in Premier League before. I understand all this. but I'm enthused that it's still so long to go, and we are doing business. You know, weren't too long ago. We had no one through the door, and we know we'll all be mourning that. So I think we've got 3 through pretty quickly, and I think there'll be many more to come. Evening, mate. I hope Mike hope you well, buddy. As Angus can he got to Sunderland? You think so, wouldn't you, Richard? You'd think so, buddy. Is it just coincidence with Sunderland gazumping Leeds? You know what it is, mate? For me, they're just gambling a bit. They're pushing envelope a little bit further than Leeds are willing to do. What you've got to remember is Leeds have been there. Leeds were only there a couple of seasons ago. We know Sunderland, I think, may take a few more risks in player contracts as well. We've been burnt. So I think we're a little bit more reserved. You know, you only learn from your mistakes, and we've got. And I know Sunderland haven't been out of the Premier League for years upon years, but you know, football has moved on. The money in football's moved on. They were in League One not too long ago. You know, they've been out of Premier League. It's been 7 years ish, something like that, off the top of my head. So it's a long time in football. Is 7 years. A lot's changed, and the PSR has come in and things like that. What I'll say on that is I don't think they've spent much money. They've sort of come up with a squad that they haven't put loads into. You know, a lot of youth. It's not like they spent chuggings of money and they needed to come up. They're probably ahead of the curve of Sunderland for me. I didn't expect them to come up last season, but they did. But they're in a really healthy position now in terms of, I think PSR wise, they've probably got a bit of wiggle room because although they've been in that 3-year cycle, they've been in championship for that full period. But like I say, money wise, they haven't spent much. So I would assume that, I mean, speaking to Joe Wayman about it today, I assume they've got some pound notes to chuck at this, and by the looks of things, they're willing to push the envelope beyond. So fair play to them. They're giving it a good crack. If I were a Sunderland fan, I'd be buzzing with what they're doing. But as a Leeds fan, you may think it's said through saltiness and that I'm looking, you know, it'd been different in the time for Leeds. Maybe, but we're not at that point, are we? But I'm looking at the deals, the money rumoured, the money, you know, that you've put in for these players, and I do think you've overpaid. Time will tell, of course. Time will tell. We have got survival in the Premiership, no matter what Sunderland spends. Yeah, I think so too, mate. I think we'll be fine anyway. It's just a good little fun dynamic to talk about, in it. It's more for media. I think it just drives, you know, it drives up interest that Sunderland have beat Leeds to some signings. But like you say, there's context to that. Leeds haven't offered the same money as Sunderland. So there's your context. And what I will say is, I was speaking to Adam, who was on my late night Leeds, and if it is just us and Sunderland going for the player, if we are the only 2 clubs who put offers in for these players, and this isn't me being disrespectful to Sunderland because they're a huge club, but how good is the player? How good is the player if it's just us and Sunderland going for these players? Are we too fussed to missing out on them? There isn't a host of clubs line. Maybe there is, but no host of clubs putting that sort of money down. Leeds went to 22 million quid. Don't know what the pay packet was, but they went to 22 million quid. Sunderland have gone to 30 million and a 5-year deal. For all we know, there could be a relegation clause in there that we now know Leeds won't put in. Leeds won't put that in. Sunderland may put that in. They haven't got the recent experience that we've got. They haven't been burnt like we have. Sadiki, 17.75 million with roughly 2.5-3 million add-ons, around the £20 million mark for Sadiki. Leeds were rumoured to be in around the 8 to 12 million bracket. That's what we were sort of looking at as evaluation. We haven't offered nowhere near the same money. So obviously they're going to pick Sunderland. He's going to pick Sunderland. It's all about, you know, if we'd have put the same money down, then there's a conversation. If he'd have picked Sunderland, fair enough. And he may have done. Who knows? Both clubs are huge. I'll never come on and badmouth Sunderland as a club. They're a huge club in their own right. Leeds United are huge. And I know there's this between clubs now, who's the biggest club. I don't give a shit. You know the biggest club is whoever finishes above each other next season. It's all about now. Past, it's great. You know, great memories of the foundations that clubs are built on those years, you know, years of yesterday. But it's all about this season. We finished 24 points above Sunderland. Sunderland have so much more work to do than Leeds United to stay up. The 24 points proves that. That's a hell of a lot of points to bridge that gap. And I know it's a clean slate come first game of the season. You've got to get off that ground running. We've got Everton. Sunderland have got the most favourable start to the season, but we've also got a favourable one. But for me, when you look at it, they've got more work to do. They've lost Job. They've had to go out and replace him. So if Diarra comes in and replaces Job, maybe he's better. We'll have to find out. But that's plugged that gap fair enough. But they already were weaker before they come up for losing Tommy Watson, Joe Bellingham. They've got players in there, Luke O'Nien, that I don't think is Premier League quality, and I know Sunderland fans don't. He's the kind of player you want to go into battle with, being a Premier League player. They've got a lot more work to do of Sunderland than Leeds United. So if these two players are brought in, help them sleep at night, not being contradicting, but if it does, great. It gives them a great chance of staying up. This calibre of player, the fact that they're lumping this money on is great if it works. But I do firmly believe they're paying over the odds for these players. And that's a gamble they're willing to take. And Leeds United aren't. And that's where it comes down to for me. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And fair play to them. And if these players that were linked with would come to us, I'd be happy too. But they haven't. And we're looking elsewhere. And there's nothing saying that these were the top of our list. We know they were on our list. We know we've made offers for these players. But yeah, interesting dynamic. So who's this top signing we are getting, mate? Honestly, mate, no clue. No clue. I'm thinking the amount of money we'll put down on a player, which will be the highest, I think will be the striker. I've gone off, not off the idea, but I've got a feeling the 10 role, which I've said I want a fancy magician in there. Someone who can make something happen out of note. Doesn't need to be tall. 5'8", little magician in there to do for me. You know, the Buendia types and all that of yesteryear. Maybe not the Buendia now, but that sort of player. Someone who can unpick a lock with ease and put it onto the striker's toe, find a pass no one else can. I don't think that player is going to come to Leeds United. I think we're potentially looking at a formation change with maybe 3 in midfield, which I'm all for. I think we're going to be hard to beat. We're going to see a side with more strengths than you've seen in recent years in terms of set pieces. I think that's going to come into it. So I'm looking at it now thinking who will be our top signing, and I think it'll be a striker. I really do. Hi, John. Hope you well. Hi, John, my good lad. What the hell is going on? Don't stress it, mate. Don't stress it. 2 Wolfsburg players always injured. Depends how you want to look at it again, mate. If you want to look at it half empty, yeah, you're going to say that and it's going to stress you out. If you want to look at it half, glass half full, Sam Byron, we thought that. He come in, he's done great. Farker's managed him, the club's managed him. Solomon came with injury worries. Look at the season Solomon had. These 2 players we've brought in for one for free, one for what, 6 million quid, 5 million quid, I think it is. If we get it right with them, we've nailed it. We've cracked it. They're internationals at their peak form, and they've still got their peak to hit if they don't get injured. Ifs, buts, and maybes, I know. But just at 26-year-old, does that mean because he's had a crock season, a couple of injuries here and there, does that mean now for the next, 6, 7, 8 years of his career is done? Because we've seen it in Bamford. It doesn't mean that. Can't tarnish everyone with that brush. People on here will have tripped over at work and broke their ankle. Does that mean you write him off for the next 6 years? Things happen. It doesn't mean he's crocked forever. It's not our money. I trust the club to get it right. And it's not like we're buying crocked players for big money. Some of these players are coming in squad options, and the great squad options, which means because of squad options, you're managing the minutes. The load isn't going to be high. It's not going to be high intensity for these players. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Think Joe will run you and Joe around the Creators Cup, pal. Lol, he looked just a bit fitter, mate. A bit fitter, mate. He looked a lot fitter, pal. Don't underestimate the big lad, though. That's all I'll say. Don't underestimate the big lad. I've always been big, mate. So yeah, I can do it. I can't move, to be fair, but I'm all right. I think we have to trust the 49ers, know what they're doing. Can you name a bad signing we've made? Nope. Or someone whom we've overpaid? I can't. The only issue was players who didn't get me. Yeah, that's it. We've got to have a squad that Farker trusts, haven't we? Because he's going to have to use a squad. I was speaking to Joe earlier about it. Last year, he didn't utilise a squad. And I think there were some players, last year, year before as well, there were some players that could have got more minutes. 100%. There could have been, that first season under Farker, there could have been games where we rested Somerville and we played Jayden Anthony. Jayden Anthony is not at Somerville's level, no, but he's just got promoted with Burnley. There would have been games he would have been serviceable and could have done a job to ease that load on Somerville, which might have meant we might have got over the line that year because that last, 7, 8 games he weren't at the races, probably down to fatigue. So these are things that Farker has to get over. He does, but in terms of signings in the last 2 seasons, there haven't been many bad ones. BMG, there haven't. Andy, Matty, are you the Matty Foster, the cameraman who had to make Joe and Joe the same size? Yeah, mate. I was on my knees holding the tripod because it blew over halfway through. So it was quite an awkward, 10 minutes of me holding this. But I was the cameraman, yeah. I was the cameraman. Yeah, there's Mr. Whitesnake's channel. Please go check Stevie out on there. Please give him a like and a sub, please. Really appreciate that, I would. John Pepper, I'm not bothered who other clubs sign. Hope Leeds keep up the good work with player recruitment. Yeah, well, I think that's right, keeping up the good work, because I think they are doing well at the minute. I really do. And I'm not like an over positive fan, blind faith. You know what I'm like. Priestley is certainly that. But right now, there's nothing at all to be down about. We've just had the best season in our history in terms of points, amount of wins and stuff. Maybe the trophy's, plastic to some people because it's not a European trophy or it's not a top flight trophy. I can understand all that. I can go along with all that. But in terms of just getting up and, going to Welling Road and watching the team play, it's been a bloody good season. It's been a good 2 seasons. It really has. So, hey up, mate. Nobody saw the likes of Ampadu, Grove, or Bogle coming until they were pretty much done. 49ers. Yeah, they do, mate. They 100% do. The deals we've done have been fairly quiet and they just sort of pop up out of nowhere, don't they? So it's something when I see a link and you see other, channels, YouTube channels talking about them, it's something I've sort of struggled with because I don't really know what credible links are. I don't like watching other people's content to do my own content because it's not authentic, it's not natural. So I'm struggling with this bit. So this is quite an interesting one to come and talk about because there's a few talking points here. But in terms of the rumours, mate, a lot of them are just, what I'll say is that the most credible ones have been the local journalists for once, the YEP, when Graham Smith is sort of announcing something, he's sort of dropping bombs, he's Graham Smith, and it's not used to what we're seeing. It's it's coming from, is it through the mail? It's been getting leaked through in previous years, but it definitely looks like now the main credible stuff's getting leaked to the local based journalists, which I like to see. It hasn't really happened since Phil left. Is it just me who don't trust the Bundesliga? I think it's a decent level. It's classed as one of the top 4, top 5 divisions in it, but I trust it in terms of Farke knows that division. Farke, we knew he'd tap into that Bundesliga. We all knew we were going to look at Germany, probably more than he has done in the past. And I think when you're trying to be more physical, naturally the great German sides, they've had that intimidation factor. They are physically imposing. I remember German national sides, whenever England come across them, sometimes you'd be beat before you even kick a ball. So I think it's a decent league to tap into for that physicality. Look at the players we're bringing over. They're all over 6 foot. I don't think it's a bad thing. But again, Harrison, I don't watch the league. So I can't really comment other than just what I read and what I see when I need to. German football this year. Yeah, obviously, for me, there's a handful of teams in there that are decent, and then it sort of pitters out to some poorer sides, but it's still deemed as a top league. For me, you've got Harry Kane over there. You've got some top players playing in Germany, so I don't think it's all that bad. But I do understand there's only the cream of the crop at the top, and then the rest of the league isn't as strong. But some of these players that are playing in Germany that we've bought have played for the national team. The German national team isn't shit, Arthur. The Belgium team isn't shit. And these have pulled on that shirt. So regardless what you think of the actual domestic league, these players are internationals and still have, for me, international caps in front of them. They're not at the end of their career. They've all got international caps ahead of them and will fancy the chances of getting into the national squads again, coming to England, playing for Leeds. Have Leeds not said, nah, mate, I'm talking to Joe about it today. No, I'm getting no affiliate link for Leeds, mate. 100%. Oh, God, that's funny. Sunderland have got a couple of good players, it seems, but probably overpaid. Yeah, I agree. I think they've overpaid, but that doesn't mean they won't work for them. But they're having to push the ball out, I think, because they're a newly promoted side, and no disrespect to them. It can be a hard sell because the chances are you come straight back down. And we're probably facing that. And we might be facing a more difficult task of Sunderland because we aren't willing to push the envelope that far. And we won't put certain stuff in the contract players will want as reassurance. We won't do it. So it may be hard for us to attract some of these players, but you've got to stick to your principles. You can't just bend over backwards as a club and take it. You know, if you're buying a house, you set your stall out. I've only got 250 grand. I want 252. Tough. I ain't got it. And you just got to walk away sometimes, don't you? And that's what it is with this. Maybe Arthur. But like I say, if you want to be negative, that's how you're going to feel. Tanaka. Will he get found out in Premier League? Do you think he's not good enough? I would assume you think Tanaka were good enough. I know we haven't seen him in Prem yet, but £3 million. We've seen him in Championship. There's no proof he'll do it in Prem, but surely you see some players worthy of that who are currently here. So it's not all about money or where they've been. It's about them fitting our style, fitting our system, and being good enough to play for Leeds United, which is a weighty shirt, as we know. We need to focus on what we have going on rather than worrying about the others are doing. To put it bluntly, what can we do about it? Exactly, can't do no. All we can do, Steve, is have a figure in mind of what we think that player's worth to us, and if the selling side thinks that it's not enough, that's fair enough. Like, we all looked at Joe Bellingham and thought he ain't worth £30 million to Dortmund, but if that's what it takes for Sunderland to let him go, I know there may have been a release contract, but just in general, whatever that selling club deems fit, valuation-wise, that's their prerogative. Is their player is contracted to them, and that's fine. That might be what certain players are worth for them, and that's it. And we aren't prepared to go to it. We aren't. We'll have a target. We'll have an amount we think, and if it's not enough, it's not enough. Simple as. It's the fans who have to sort of front it up. The media, the banter, we have to front it up as fans. A club asked that Sunderland have picked us to two players based on whether we'd offered same money or not. The Leeds just move on to another target. No sweat. But the fans have to deal with the media, the banter, the social media element. And like I say, I'm all about that. I don't mind. But the club don't. They'll just move on to another target. The club won't give a shit. 78 in good numbers. Jamie is currently on 121. Probably the highest I've ever had for a solo video. So please like the video and please subscribe. There'll be plenty of you not subscribing. I don't beg for subs, but I'd really like to get some more subscribers on here. If you're in now, the channel, I've got loads of ideas. Late Night Leeds on Friday is going to be really good as well with Sean and Adam. So please please subscribe and turn the notification bell on. Going into Prem doing this, it's going to be good. Darren Elliott, hey, mate, I think we need to stop thinking who we've been linked to as it bites us. 49ers keeping quiet till deals happen. Must have options coming into me. Yeah, 100%. I think, obviously, we've been linked with Stack from Hoffenheim, big physical midfielder. I could see that happening. But again, it's been leaked. It hasn't happened quickly. Does that mean give it another day or two, passes? If he ain't coming door, it's done. Or Sunderland are going to get him. It tends to be out of blue, doesn't it? We don't hear anything. All of a sudden, there's someone having a medical. It's been, a local journal releases it, and all of a sudden we've signed another player, and it happens very quickly. And it's like you say, unless you're Lockie or Andrea in scouting report on Joe's side, we haven't heard about them or spoke about them. But fair play to them for digging some of these out. I am getting worried, and I always am positive. Yeah, Sean, too long left, mate, at window to worry about it. Way too long. Only fools in SAFC. Even I heard that. Support the wrong team. No need for meltdowns from anyone yet, though. End of the day, we are spending money, but on unproven talent still need proven quality. Yeah, and I love how level-headed you are. And this is Wayne, who I'm doing the weekly show every Tuesday night at 9:30 on alternate channels. Go check Wayne out if you want some really good Sunderland content. You're going to have to check him out if you watch my stuff anyway, because every other week I'll be on his channel, and it's going to be good stuff. He's a really level-headed, as am I. It's not all sunshines and rainbows in the Leeds world, as it's not in Sunderland, and we'll say it as it is. But yeah, you're right there, mate. It's unproven talent. It's exciting talent. 21-year-old Diarra. He's been a captain at 21-year-old. Great experience. Such a young player, talented. Same with Sadiki. He was the one I wanted over Diarra. If I'm honest, I think he has more weapons to sort of use. I think he's more versatile. Can play different positions. He played right back, DM, centre mid. Diarra's at box to box, which I think we need, but I think we're going more down the height route, 6 foot plus. But yeah, they're unproven, but it's exciting. If I were a Sunderland fan, I'd be buzzing with this. You're spending money. You were worried, prior to getting promoted, thinking the club were quite happy at one point when just being, really. You didn't foresee them being like this and being that proactive and spending the money, and now they are. So you're in a good spot. Smash a like and subscribe. Yeah, please. Cheers, Danny. There you go. Look, he's banged it in. I'm always behind on chat, as you know, but I try and get through as many comments as I can. This number 9 is worrying me. Well, plenty of time left, mate. That's all I can say, Andrew. But we've been linked with number 9s, haven't we? You know, the Moon is at Fulham. Is he one I want? I'd probably say yes. He's right up there. He'd be my number 1 sort of choice, and I do feel like some credibility to that, even though we've been linked with him now and know what's happened, which may tell you we're not in for him because, like I say, if we are, it tends to get mentioned once, then we sign him. But there's plenty of time left. There's no need to panic. No need to panic at all. With an international iconic name, Max Million Wobber going for peanuts. He is, but I asked about that. I asked it. He don't play many minutes. As long as it ain't a PSR problem, because he's been now, what, 3 years now, 2 seasons at Leeds and a season away. So as long as PSR perspective, it's not negative. I'm quite happy for him to go. Bornau comes in, and if it's sort of break even for him out and him in, I aren't too bothered, if I'm honest. 49ers have come through for us. I'm concerned, but not too worried. Yeah, if we'd sign nobody, I'd be well on that, but I'm not. Lewis B, hey up, mate. Hi, mate. For us, it's huge risk buying these young players, but they fit with our current system. Sunderland fans are just excited about this much money being spent. Good luck. 100%, mate. It weren't long ago you were in League One, and now you're spending 20s and 30 million pound on players. It's crazy when you look at, we've been there, the jump from Championship. We were middle at road Championship side until Bielsa took us, and then all of a sudden we're spending 30 on Rodrigo. We were exactly the same, and it's not been contradicting because you've been in Premier League, more in that last 20-year period than we have. We have 3 years there in the last 20, and it's not enough for a club of our size. It's not enough for a club of your size. We should never be in League One, but it is what it is. That's where we were, and we fought our way back up, and credit to us, but I understand you're excited. You're spending money on players. It's a lot of money. What is there not to be excited about? If you're not excited about your club spending 25, 30 million pounds on players, exciting talent that other clubs have looked at and have a high ceiling, what would you even following sport for? What are you even watching it for, Lewis? So 100%, I totally get that, mate. I am content with the 49ers' responsible and professional handling of the club, including this transfer window. They're being fact-based, data-driven and savvy in every aspect of running the club. Yeah, summed it up great there, mate. Summed it up great. I don't expect anything else other than that by them as well, mate. They handle everything really well. To sometimes the disgust of content creators, although they all say they prefer it. As a fan, you prefer it, but obviously for content, you just feel like you're just regurgitating rumours after rumour after rumour. But the ones that are credible have come from the local journalists, which I think have been leaked by the club, and it happens pretty quick. But like I say, you bang up money there, mate. You bang up money. They're just savvy businessmen who want to make a profit, want to see a club do well, because ultimately that's what they're in it for. And the way they operate it's not League One level like we've had in past. You've got no one bloody tweeting out to fans and making a fool of themselves, which we've had in abundance, haven't we, at our club? And it's really nice and refreshing to have someone sort of know how to run a club. Sunderland have overspent, but they will. Yeah, that is a fact, mate. Yeah, I know they'll have a few leaving for AFCON. Again, if we know that as fans, Sunderland, their owners aren't daft. They'll factor that in. They'll make sure they've got adequate cover. But 100%, if you're, them 2 players, Sadiki and Diarra, you're talking 50 million quid worth of talent there, and they potentially could be out for 8 weeks if they go deep into the tournament. So, hey up, Gary. As a Mackham, this must be our best window ever. Yeah. Our hierarchy are pushing the boat out to establish ourselves. I can't really see it as gazumping Leeds, as I'm sure Leeds will bring in quality soon. Yeah, and for me, we haven't brought superstars in. No one was going to wow, but we've brought in quality and depth. It's a quality bench option. 2 of our players are. I think Biol, who's coming as a starting centre half, 100% is a quality addition. I think he is a quality addition, 100%. Again, unproven at the top level. But like I said before, we're going to be hopefully not 17th, 16th, 17th. I'm hoping we could be a bit higher than that, but the chances are it's going to be a difficult season. And how much quality can a player have that's coming to a side that everyone's saying is going to go down. Do you get what I mean? We can't attract the best players in the world. We can't. We're way off that. We're way off that level. So it's bringing in players who have the capability of reaching that ceiling and hopefully doing it at Leeds United. But ultimately, we're swimming in those waters where you're buying potential really. And I think Beale potentially is a great Premier League player. The attributes he has is what Leeds need. But like I say, taking a gamble on 30 million on a 21-year-old, it's probably where we are as clubs. We've probably got to set that gamble because maybe that dead cert, that guarantee just won't come to a club that's potentially going to get relegated or potentially be in a dogfight. And I don't think Leeds will go down. And I think Sunderland have got a chance of not going down. But when you haven't got your Leeds or your Sunderland cap on and you take it off and you're just a footballer or another fan, everyone's saying we'll struggle and we'll go back down. So the dead certs are difficult to get over the line because they don't want to be playing Championship football. Fans may not agree with everything, but we can't be living on past missed opportunities and mismanagement. The building of long-term goals are being laid out and a permanent Premier future. Yeah, 100%. Speak so well, mate. That Leeds lad got to be pushing limits of PSR in a large group chat. Was a few saying the pay difference can be demoralising to other players, just like other clubs have to do after 2 weeks. But yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Right, Snake, there he is again. Go check him out. Honestly, this chat is popping off. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I've heard Sunderland are not after Anton Stack. No, they're not. I don't think, mate. They've just signed, like I said, they've signed 2 midfielders. They can't be in for another one, can they? They can't be. I like Sunderland, soft spot for them, says Sean. Yeah, I mean, again, we have clubs we despise. We have clubs we don't mind. Sunderland fall on that side of the line for me. I don't mind them at all. When I play them next season, I'll hate the guts for 2 games, but ultimately, can't love them too much because we're in competition to stay up with them, so it's going to be tough. But yeah, I've got mass respect for Sunderland. As I said about Diarra, until they play, we won't know if they are worth it. In the Prem, you have to spend a lot more. We have a lot more youth. And yeah, you know, it is at Sunderland. You have got a very youthful, exciting team, and you do promote youth and you do give youth a chance. So it is an exciting signing. And like I say, with Diarra, it's been a captain. It's got that leadership quality that you shouldn't really have at 21. So it goes to show you that he's got an old head there on young shoulders, and I think he's a talent. 30 million, if you stay up, is sound. 30 million, if you go down, it just seems like you spent a hell of a lot of money. But I think there'll be some sort of get out there. I've heard there is a release contract in there, some sort of percentage, where he can leave on a cheaper deal or something of that nature. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But there will be things like that in the contract just to sort of give that assurance that he doesn't have to play Championship football if the worst case happens. But if you go down, it's bad business. If you stay up, it's great business, isn't it? So like I said, time will tell. All we've done is getting business done first, not to do with Leeds. And you're right, we need to catch up with you a lot first, says Alan. Hey up, Alan. Yeah, 100%, man. That's not even me being a twat saying that. It's just, it's the fact in it. You were 24 points behind us. You lost Job, you lost Tommy Watson. We didn't lose anybody. We lost Solomon, don't get me wrong. Massive player for us, but we've got Ramazani there who's just as capable, and we will bring in someone for that. But I think Job, to you, he's like 50-50. I've seen a lot of Sunderland fans say, yeah, he's not all that. But for you guys, it was a massive part of your side, a massive reason you got promoted. And he would be missed. Hence why you're having to spend money to fill that void. You know, the amount of money they bought him, maybe it's his surname, as we'd all say, but there's no denying he was a top player, top operator for you guys. So the fact you lost him, there is work to be done there to bridge the points gap that were there because of the quality in player, being that different between the two sides, and the fact that you lost a couple to start with. So I do believe you've got more to do, but we've both got a lot to do. Yeah, there's a lot of links just getting put in again. I'll just bring them up as I go through. Ollie Ward made me laugh. He said, if you have a girlfriend, don't tell Sunderland because I'll go and steal her. It's about right. We hear 49ers are stats and facts driven. Where does Daniel get his hunches from to leave some players in limbo? Charlie Cresswell, Ramazani. I don't know. I had this out with Joe earlier because he likes to bring up the Ramazani thing because it really pisses me off, and so it does with Cresswell as well. But sometimes, mate, just a manager doesn't set to a player, just like a player doesn't set to a manager, and sometimes it just doesn't work. It doesn't mean they're a bad player. There's definitely something in that with certain players, like say, even Schmidt. You could add to that now. It looks like, will he be leaving? Hearing his agent's words the other day that he needs to be playing football, or, you know, that comes over money in a World Cup season and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a mad one. Some players I don't understand Farke's logic, but at the end of the day, he got us 190 points over 2 seasons and ultimately got us promoted on that second year. So he got it right, really, didn't he? As much as it pains me to say. I've heard Sunderland, I'd have to, yeah, Ian. I don't know if you've seen the same when I saw someone had rigged up an AI tweet from Romano, which weren't right. Jason Darling, we offered 32 mil for Munez, so money is it? Yeah, it is, Jason. It is there to spend. That's why I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing because none of this is down to us not having money to spend. This is down to us not having his pants pulled down and just paying what a club wants us to pay. That's what it is for me. Like I say, if Leeds and Sunderland are the only two putting bids in for a player and we don't think he's worth it, why are we going for him? Why are we going for him? Why should we match Sunderland at 30 million to get a player that we don't value at that and clearly hasn't got top clubs banging the door down for him? Because these top clubs will be happy. We've seen it with Rafinha at Leeds. We've seen it with other players. They'll be happy to pass on a Diarra right now. Let Sunderland take the gamble. And if it works out, they'll be happy to pay 50 or 60 for him in a few years' time. We've seen it before. Squad was only 8 million, and we were tight with the money, the full time out of the Prem, and we had like the 16th lowest wage bill in the champ, so we are in a good position. And it's good we are going for it. There you go. Yeah, 100%, mate. Like I say, you've got up. I think you're ahead of the curve. Like I say, you got up with a squad that weren't built on, you know, spending big, built on a good system, bringing in a manager like Regis Labrie, which let's be fair, definitely helped. Some really astute signings, bringing the youth through that were talented enough at certain times and playing them, and ultimately has got you up. Like I say, I think maybe a year earlier, but on the other hand, if you wouldn't have gone up, you'd have lost your jobs, you'd have lost a few, and maybe you'd have never come up. So, you know, I do believe you were a year probably too early. I think sometimes you need that. I know you had that sucker punching player final a few years before. But yeah, I sort of looked at Sunderland and thought they won't go up this year. They won't make it. I thought Sheffield United, Burnley and Leeds would go up, which I'm pretty sure at one point Sunderland fans did. But I kind of thought you'd lose a few and you'd go again and you'd be better for it. But the fact that you've come up with a squad you've got gives you loads to do, but also gives you loads of wiggle room to do it with. So you're in a good position. Loads to do. Scary, exciting, but possible. Given the 49ers history, our main signings won't be known in the press clickbait sites yet. Yeah. I love Luke 09. I do agree, but he literally would put his life on the line for the club. Players look, yeah, 100%. And we all love a player like that, don't we, mate? Ultimately, that will only get you so far. And you'd all agree he's not a Premier League player. He's somebody you'd want around the club, and he'll play minutes and he'll play cup games and stuff like that. But he should not be starting for you in the Prem. Hey up, Brookie. July 2nd says, Jam, hey up, buddy. Plenty of time to bring in who we need. We haven't got the circus that we had at the club now, like we did when we first got in the Premier League. I'm chilled out by 100%. You know, it just comes down to if you back the 49ers or not done it. If you back the 49ers, you can be relaxed in the knowledge that we've got weeks and weeks left. If you're unsure on 49ers and you don't rate Farke, I understand the concern. I'm not daft. I'm not blindsided to that. Farke isn't perfect. There's doubts in my head. But when it comes to 49ers, I have zero doubts. You've seen with the Firpo, you know, debacle there. Is he going to sign? Is not? We definitely offered him something. You can see that on the return list and release list not so long ago. He's been stewing on it. It turns out it were reduced terms from his Premier League wage. Ultimately, that's a bit of ruthlessness there about 49ers. No sentiment there, no promotion pay rise. It were reduced terms, and ultimately the offer he wanted on the table wasn't there. There was something, I think, I know he said it were never an option, but I assume that's just down to they were way off on any sort of money. But the 49ers, they've given me no reason to doubt them, and because I trust them, I'm comfortable. Richard, I know you don't want to talk about it, but I think Farke may like Harrison, and I know he blows hot and cold, but he can do a job. He has been in the Prem for the last year. Yeah. My opinion on Harrison is he's potentially a bottom, towards the bottom of the league, Premier League player. I think Farke would like Harrison. I believe he would like him, risk averse, solid defensively, will do a job for you. You could give Jack Harrison a list of instructions and he'll go do it to his best of his abilities. He's not a flair player. I know Farke, you need them in your team. I know Farke's not massive on expression of talent. Sometimes we've seen him try and hold Georgie back at times, and you know when he went at Leeds, Ramazani's backflips don't go down too well either. But he would do a job for Farke. Farke's has he done worse before in terms of being able to get your Nontos and your Vobers and your Aronsons back in favour with fans? Some would say, yeah, they were harder, but I disagree. I think this one's really left a taste. Aronson and Vober came back while we were in the Championship. Regardless of why they came back and they were part of the squad that got us up. Jack Harrison vacated Leeds when we went down. He's bad-mouthed us, I think. I know his mum has. It wasn't too long ago he was waxing lyrical about wanting to stay at Everton, which I understand. You know, he was there and you're going to say that. But we've been out of the Premier League for 2 seasons. We're back up there now and he's ready to come. Well, he's not ready to come back, but if he comes back, he'll be saying and doing all the right things. And I just don't want to see it. Do I think Farke may think about it? 100%. 100%. Job honestly was the core of our team. He's a huge loss, but we have huge trust in Labrie. I was in the Premier League, fuck Burnley. I was in news above, but yeah, no, I agree. I suppose I've been in contact with some Burnley fans, and they're very much of the opinion they're going to go back down, and they're going to be a yo-yo club. They don't see how they stay up, and you know it's quite a sad existence that people may look at Leeds and Sunderland fans and think you're deluded. Of course, you're going back down. You've just been promoted. Of course, it doesn't matter about what you won years ago. It doesn't matter how many fans you get in your stadium. Who gives a shit you're going down? But I love how passionate. I love how passionate we are in believing in our clubs. You know, we believe in something bigger than just being a yo-yo club, and I think we'll be fine. Leeds, and it's hard. It's hard because for Sunderland to stay up and Leeds to stay up, two's got to go down on top of your Burnley, so it's difficult, isn't it? But it's yeah, I'm excited for it. And Liam Moore, if we wanted these players, we would have got them. Sunderland have paid over the odds, in my opinion. The 49ers will do the deal if the deal makes sense. 2 more players by end of week. Oh, I agree. I don't agree with the 2 players by end of week. I'm sort of thinking, Liam, we may get 1. I've been sort of thinking 1 more this week. If we get 2, I'll be buzzing. I agree. I do agree. And I know there's a lot of Sunderland fans in chat. In my opinion, which it is only my opinion, if Leeds and Sunderland offered identical contracts, I think they'd pick Leeds. Because I think, logically, we're the most obvious out of the 2 clubs to stay up. And like I say, going back to the points, the fact that we've been in the Premier League more recently, not as much over the last 20 years, but more recently, the stadium development. I just think it looks like a really good, exciting place. Does Leeds United Ella Road, you know, for someone's next 4 or 5 years of their career. But I'm not deluded in thinking Sunderland's also an attractive proposition. But I do agree that if the contract were identical, I would assume Leeds would have a bit more pulling power right now. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, Jammy, it's mad. 135. Please stick a like on. I don't know how many likes I'm on, but I'm buzzing. I'm sat here and I've got I'm a little bit nervous, to be fair. Seeing that number at 131. Yeah, thanks so much at nearly 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. I've had a busy day. I've had a hard day yesterday, so I really appreciate so much support from both sets of fans as well for this video. So yeah, man, thanks so much. Please like and please subscribe, like I say, and check the links out in chat, man. You're absolute legends. Sunderland, Leeds, don't have to worry. Brentford will go down. Burnley and West Ham. There's a few in there. I'm looking at Everton. I'm looking at a lot of those European sides, your Forest and your teams like Bournemouth and that. Are they going to be dragged down a little bit more to the level? I'm thinking so. Not down that low where they'll go down, I don't think, but there is some Prem sides I think are in trouble. Brentford, for me, are definitely one of them. I'm sort of looking at Brentford, Burnley, and another. Who else can be dragged down there? West Ham, potentially. I think Everton will be okay, me, just because of the whole David Moyes. I'll be honest. Andy, Matty, do you think Leeds have been slightly obsessed with height? Yeah, but I think it's a good obsession. It's a good obsession. It's like being obsessed with gym. It's a good obsession. I'm not, as you can tell. I'm obsessed with fridge, but yeah, I think it's a massive part of what we've needed. The physicality element is one thing. You know, you don't have to be tall to be physical and strong and combative, but the height helps from set pieces. And we've been so poor at set piece for a long time. The last time I remember Leeds being good at set pieces were under Gary Monk, I think. I may be wrong, but I'm under Gary Monk. What did it be here before that? Gary Monk, wasn't it? And we had Cooper, maybe Janssen as well, rotating with I forgot his name now. Kyle Bartley. I feel like that was last time when we had Pontus, you know, that was last time I felt confident. But that season with Bartley, sure it was Bartley and Cooper, and then Bartley and Janssen, same season potential. That season, you know, I can't remember much more since that. Goodmanson is done, Matty, in the know on Wacko. Oh man, I'm not involved in group chat right now because I'm on here, but I'm buzzing if that's the case. If you know any more, let me know. Buzzing with that. From what I know, we never made a bid of Sadiki. I did a little bit of digging before I come on here because I thought we did bid for him. I've got it down on here. We were in discussions with him with a value of about 8 to 12 million, Russ. So I think you might be right with that. I think we were definitely in for him. I think we went to him and had talks. But yeah, they probably told us no, we want 20. And that's when Leeds have gone, no, thank you. Goodmanson done. Come on. I'm thinking it can't be done because if it'd been done, there'd have been some bigger YouTubers than me jumping on right now and you'd have all left me, which hasn't happened. So, yeah. Will they ever recoup their money they spent on these players? Doubt it's still a bottom three team. See, won't we? 2 ingredients for survival, physicality and prem experience. There's more to it, of course, but we've got the big lads and expect we might get in some. Yeah, I think so. I said before, mate, there'll be a mixture. I feel there'll be a mixture of players from the continent who we get better value for, who have played in top leagues, play for the national side, which shows pedigree. You can't always translate that to Premier League. We've seen some top ballers come to Premier League, Shevchenko. We've seen some top ballers, haven't we, at the top of the game, world level, come to Premier League and struggle. So there's no given right that they'll come and do that. But I've always said we'll get a few of these players in and we will get some Prem experience. We've seen it already. We bought Prem experience players for Championship. Our players that have played in the Prem for a number of years, you know, your Jed Spence, been at Tottenham for a year or two, Rodon, Solomon. We bought players who've played Prem level while we're in Championship. So I think it'd be daft to suggest we wouldn't do that when we're a Premier League side. So, oh man, are we actually signed Goodmanson? This is absolutely class. Absolutely class. There's no one. Is this just on Wacko, this, boys? Yeah. Although they have been solid, haven't they? They have been solid. Hairy Crackling. I'm telling you what, he works at Leeds United, him. Mr. Hairy Crackling. For any Sunderland fans in chat, we have a forum called Wacko, and we have people on there who I think must work for a club. And the 3 transfer deals we've made and the ones we've currently linked with, Goodmanson and Stack, they've been leaked on Wacko, and 3 of them have obviously already come to fruition. So it's it'd be interesting to see if this goes through. But yeah, if Hairy Crackling said it's maybe a good point, that, buddy. Whether players are good enough has many variables. Manager style of playing, character play. Oh, of course it does, mate. Of course it does. And getting a deal done has so many components. And then once it's done, it's just the start of that player's journey. And getting to me is one thing, but then, you know, to go out there and play. Sunderland's a huge club, you know, even down to weight at shirt, mate, and you know, that pressure of playing Premier League football. And then outside that, are the attributes, are they going to work physically? Are they up to it? Are they technically good enough to play in Premier League? So many parts to it. He won't with a 3-man midfield will have the protection he needs. I assume you're saying he won't play that. I think he's going to. Without dropping names, a certain Leeds content creator has shown concerns for some of the Leeds uninspiring new recruits. So far, he's based in London. Yeah, I don't know, but you know what it is? I understand the cause for concern. I understand when you look at a play and go, He's a free transfer. He's got an injury record. Oh, he's £6 million. You know, we're looking at those competitors spending 20 plus, and we're signing players at £6 million who's also had an injury. You know, injuries this season. I understand the cause of concern, mate. I get it. I just choose to not sit on that side of the fence currently. But don't get me wrong, if we start the Premier League season and these players are at it and we're dropping points like flies, I'll speak about it, because how I feel in the moment is just how I address it. But right now, there's literally no cause for concern at all. Plenty of time left. Plenty of time left. The be-all signing was unusual for the 49ers in that it dragged out longer than normal. Maybe yeah, it did, to be fair. Like you say, it got announced in it, and I'm sort of looking at the stat one thing. You know, it's been announced now and it hadn't happened quickly, so maybe we're not getting him. The be-all one, what's the same? We sort of knew it was happening, and 5 days passed, I think, before it actually got physically announced by a club. I'm off now. See you later, Alpha, mate. Take care, buddy. Yeah, 135 in chat. That was nearly half an hour ago. 130 in chat right now, though, still. Come on. He's still going for it, man. Love it. Half an hour behind on comments here. Yeah, please like and subscribe. I'm just going to keep saying it because I've got so many people here. Thank you so much, man. This is class. This is absolutely class. Leeds United, best team in England. Love that, Arthur. Looking forward to your matchup with Wayne. Can't wait, Gary. Love Winter Beach. He's such a good friend of mine now. Even called at his house. He lives 10 minutes from my daughter. My daughter lives in Durham, my little girl, so I own her. So I called and met him a couple of weeks ago. We ironed out a few talking points about a show and stuff. Went through a little bit and more in depth, and it was just nice to meet the guy. I think the world of him. He's such a good guy. Just wish he were a Leeds fan, you know. Who does Sadiki play for internationally? It's an African team. He'll get. Yeah, is it? I can't remember who it is, to be fair. Someone else will be will bang that in. But yeah, he's going to be going to AFCON, mate. Fact. I think we will have 3 in by the 7th as a squad will be returning. Is it Senegalese? From Senegal? Might be wrong with that, though. Overpaying. Tie up, Tam. Overpaying. Leeds fans think their own valuation is real, when in fact it exists only in their head. Yeah, but you're saying there, Tam, like, you're thinking your valuation's right. We think our valuation's right. Maybe truth somewhere in the middle. I would say 30 million quid for a 21-year-old is probably a bit too much when there's no one else really going in for him. Yeah, I would say it's a bit too much. We went in at 22, you've gone at 30 and got it done. But it's up to debating it, and I love the whole debate thing. And but like I say, you're going to sit on your side of the fence, I'm going to sit on mine, and truth's probably somewhere in the middle. But the truth is, we didn't match your bid, and you got him. Simple as, and that's great for you, Michael. Evening, Matty. The likes of Diarra team were sending mixed messages about him wanting to go to the club. To a club playing in Europe. Sadiki is a promising player, but they went to Sunderland due to the bigger wage. Yeah, that's it. For me, they've gone for the money. They'll put a shift in, hopefully they'll work out for you. But for me, the contract that Sunderland have offered wouldn't have been matched by anybody else. They're playing Premier League football, whether they come to Leeds United or not, it's probably the same task for the next 12 months, isn't it? Staying in league. The club's ambitions will be the same for both clubs. Stay up. That's all it'll be for this season. So they're getting more money for a club with the same ambitions. I understand why they'd go there. They're not going to take a less contract. Ultimately, the club won't have accepted our offer anyway, which probably never led it to a contract situation for us. So Congo, is that what it is? Smash a like and follow Matty, please. Cheers, Brookie, mate. Still think we still need 6 in, and the 49ers will bring in 1 or 2 marquee signings. Yeah, I think so. I think you're still talking 5 or 6, and I think 2 of them do need to be big. And when you say marquee signings, I assume you mean money-wise as well. You can get players who turn out to be marquee signings. Can't you? Like Tanaka last year, it felt like a marquee signing, and they were 3 million quid. But I also understand, as a fan base, if we don't sign anybody, if we're signing 6-7 million euro players for the next 3 or 4 signings, there'll be a meltdown, you know. I'm hoping they announce our next signing tomorrow with Sam Byram, because I want him to stick around me just because I love him. And he'll be on about 15 grand a week, and he'll do about 80 minutes over the season, and it'll be a good 80 minutes. But yeah, it is what it is. There does need to be some players coming who are of higher value, and you spend that because you know they're more of a guarantee to work, and that's why the value is so highly. But there's also that risk of bringing someone in like a Sunderland, a Diarra at 30 million when you're hoping it works. There's no guarantee all the time with money, but ultimately the experience, if we were to bring in a Premier League experienced player for 20 plus million, you'd feel more comfortable than bringing in a Bundesliga player at 68 million euro, wouldn't you? So I do think we'll get a mixture of both, like I said before. Hey up, Boss Nass, hope you well. I'm behind, but it's not that we don't do relegation release clauses. We don't do relegation loan option clauses. Yeah, to be fair, mate, we may not do any sort of relegation clauses. There might be something in there potentially, but it's not going to be at the jeopardy of the club like it were previous. The loan clause is 100%. They won't touch them. But maybe Sunderland have. Maybe they put them in. But we won't touch them. Michael says, Leeds should not worry. Let Sunderland take Diarra and Sadiki. Leeds United were all set to bring Max Harrens to Ellen Road until Bournemouth Premier League club came in with a bigger offer, but Leeds got Jayden Bogle. Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's a great way to look at it as well, because we were a little bit, maybe not everyone, but I was a bit gutted. I wanted Max Harrens, I won't lie, and I ended up with Bogle, who I would say has turned out to be a better player. We are building a champion team, not a team of champions. I heard that somewhere the other day. I love that, mate. I love that. All the new viewers in the chat, subscribe to Armatty, please. Cheers, Jamie. You know I love it when you say Armatty. I love it. Thanks, mate. And the Bullet, think we are building our squad, see how much money is available and splash the cash for attacking. Yeah, the building a bit of a base, and I know the base needs to start really with goalkeeper, which I think will come. But I think they're building that, getting that defence sorted first. I expect, like I say, I've heard on here now, Goodmanson's here, according to Wacko. We've got him in, then at least we've got us defence. I wouldn't say sorted. We still need backup for our fullbacks. But it's looking a little bit more like, and then you'll see us gradually move up the pitch. Yeah, a bit of non-league content here if you want to go check out my mate Boss Nass at Seasides TV. Great guy. Links there if you wanted to check it out. I'd appreciate it. Will Bamford be pushing for a place, or do you think? It's an Arden, Gary. I think his time's done. But I said that, then he played brilliant for last month of season when he was called upon. I think we're bringing a starting 9. I think Pirro still plays big minutes, a bit like Joseph and Pirro did last year, but it'll be Pirro and another. I also think Nemecha's got to play a role to play. So that's 3. So no, I look at Bamford, I think he's saying all the right things. He fancies his chances. He thinks the Prem's, more suited to his style, which maybe it is, we'll see. He wants to play for England again, which I think is pie in the sky. But again, saying all the right things, try to keep the fans on side, try to get the fans excited, thinking, if he believes this, can he make us believe it? I just think he's going to be 4th choice, and I don't see how we end up needing this 4th choice striker, if that makes sense. So I would say no on that basis. But what I will say, if he is called upon, maybe in cup games, if he's fit, he'll do a job. He'll be serviceable as long as he's fit. But as we know, he's not fit very often. But the amount of minutes he'll play probably allows his body to recover. So when he is called upon, maybe he's not in the physio room. I just find it hard to believe when we get a new 9 that he's going to get a look in past Pirro, a new 9, and a Mecha. I just don't see it. How many of your championship team do you think will start? So no goalkeeper, no left back. So I'm going to go Bogle, Rodon. I think Ampadu and Tanaka start. Dan James, Pirro, maybe Ramazani on left. So 6 or 7, I think, in my opinion. 6 or 7. So 4 or 5 starters needed, but Biol's obviously one of them. How about you, mate? What do you think? I'm going to have to skip some comments. You know me, I don't like doing it, but I'm well behind here. I have to skip it over a few. I think Goodmanson is in tomorrow, hopefully. Smash a like, please do, mate. Hey up, Skip. I didn't know much about Sadiki, but 100% wanted Diarra. Since we have been promoted, the 49ers have been saying we are all looking at quality players. Well, let's see, shall we? Yeah, I know, mate, I know. I think if you ask the Leeds fan base, we've been linked with Diarra and Sadiki. Everyone will have liked one of the players. Diarra scoring against England obviously helped the hype train for him and Leeds. I wanted Sadiki more than Diarra because I think the value were better. Obviously, he's less in value. We thought, potentially we might be talking around 10, 12 million. They've paid, obviously, 17 rising to 20-ish, which may still be good value. We don't know. But I thought, looking at the face, if we could get Sadiki for 10 to 12 million, as opposed to spending, close to 30 on Diarra, that he would a better bet and he could play more positions. So I definitely aren't going to stand here and say I didn't want either of these players because I'd have had both. I won't lie. But I just think, there is players out there we can get who'll do a decent role for Leeds or maybe a better role for Leeds for less money. I do. We need to be savvy. We do. Sunderland linked with Melvin Bard. Nice to see Rothwell soon. Nice about Leeds. So nice about yeah, Johnny Rangers. Yeah, I'm happy for him, mate. I'm happy for him. Great numbers in the chat, right where Matty belongs. Cheers, mate. You're a star, man. Thank you. Yeah, tripled his wages. Pally has. Can't knock him. But to be fair, maybe he'd have done that at Leeds. Maybe the wages wouldn't have been an issue because his wages weren't very high, were they? So tripling his wages might not have been out of our realms of possibility. But the whole package with a transfer deal as well, it was just too much for us. But it wasn't. It's more than we were willing to pay, should I say. Michael, Leeds have been savvy, building up from the back, not paying out big money. I think Leeds will pay big money on one player, and that is likely to be a top striker. I agree. I 100% agree. And there's no proof that if we spend 30 on a striker, there's no proof he'll hit the ground running. We saw with Rodrigo the last time we spent £30 million on a striker. It didn't quite work out. I just think this time it will, in my opinion. I think this time it will. Bit by something on my leg and fucking well hurts. Loving seeing a few Sunderland fans in the chat. Great level-headed comments. Good luck. So yeah, I agree. Like I say, you can definitely see already there's that rivalry sort of. This has sparked a little bit of a rivalry in terms of banter and conversation between both sides with these deals. But I am also hoping, that the Sunderland fans on here do know Wayne from Only Fools and SAFC, and part of being on here is looking forward to that weekly show we're going to have, which it's just added to the feel for that, really. Great to see 15 players sign scholarships today, all signed 2-year deals. Harry Gray is one of the 15 that signed. Lovely. Cheers for that, way. Ross, you're a legend. In the words of Angus Kinnear, I hope we ain't dicking around this window. Yeah, man, too right. Danny, you've probably already gone, mate. Matty, I'm going to go, mate. I've been up since 6 a.m, went to bed at 2 a.m, speak later. No worries, Danny. Get some rest, mate. Speak to you later on, mate. Thanks for watching. I suspect with Diarra, it was a combination of higher fee, more up front, higher wage and relegation clause. None of them were. Yeah, 100%. It'll be a combination of all of them things, mate. The deal to Leeds United, we won't have got anywhere near that, will we, pal? I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Nick Hempel layout, mate. I'm a Forest fan. Promoted teams are shopping in the same player supermarket. Some go for bargains, others the finest range. But trying for players above the range is the biggest risk. Only if you survive, you step up. Yeah, I agree, mate. Great point. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Really appreciate that. BMG, I think with Ramazani and Schmidt, Farker wanted to stick to what he felt was the best team, and it worked. I think he'll have to use us. Yeah, I agree. If you're winning and you haven't got injuries, why change? Why, as a fan, in back of my head, I'm looking here thinking if he plays the same players week in, week out, towards the end of the season, he'll tire. To him, if it's working, why change it? I'm massive on the fact that Ramazani, if he had not been injured against Watford, it may have been Ramazani who had the season Solomon had, and Solomon being the bridesmaid a little bit Ramazani were, and played now and again when he had opportunity. I don't think Solomon started over Ramazani because he's a better player. I don't. I think he started over him because he was injured, so he got in the side, and then he didn't really deserve to come out of the side on a consistent basis. There were games, the Swansea draw, and there were games where he should have rotated, but the sub appearances Ramazani did weren't good enough to grab the shirt off Solomon. But I do believe, in my opinion, had Ramazani not got that injury, it may have been, roles reversed for the season. But we'll never know. Smash a like and subscribe to our Maya. Yeah, I love you, man. Cheers, pal. I'm hearing teams like Wolverhampton and Brentford are. Honestly, I don't know what that says. Do I assume Costco? I don't know what it says. I can't see us getting Perry in Newcastle and West Ham. It's one of them, innit? I like that we're aiming high, but it's not realistic. Like you say, when teams like Newcastle are in for them, it's going to be hard, isn't it? Hi, Matty. How about Isaac's success on He's a Free? I liked him. Is that the guy that were at Watford a few years back, John? I do like him. Physical, imposing, that good runner. Like I say, strong, knows where net is. Not prolific, but great hold-up play. Yeah, I do like Isaac's success, mate. I'm not going to lie. But I do think it's probably too high of a move for him with Leeds in the Premier League. I think he's a bit lower down the pecking order than that. Sunderland seem to be shadowing Leeds United targets, then jumping the gun before Leeds by offering a bigger transfer fee. Leeds are being more careful. And yeah, 100% they are. Whether we're offering money getting turned down and they're coming in, or they're just coming in and gazumping. It's like being at an auction, isn't it? 5, 10, 15, and then someone just goes 80, you know, and just like, oh, I can't compete with that guy. Even if I get up to 80, he's going to go higher. So it's one of them. They're going a little, not even a little bit, way over, like I say, maybe 8 million on both deals ish over what we're willing to pay, and that's just the fee, not even looking at the contract that we don't know details of. Hey up, Lee. Hope you're well, buddy. Leeds never made an offer for the midfielder who plays in Belgium, and Petrovic. Leeds were never interested. Yeah, the Petrovic one, I don't think affects Leeds. I put him on thumbnail because it's just a talking point. I don't think we were ever in for him. So again, I've seen Sunderland fans saying, "Oh, it's another player." It isn't. Leeds didn't put an offer in. It may have been on our short list of keepers, which may be 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 long. I believe he would have been on there, been third choice at Chelsea and been a decent option. But at 25 million, I don't think we'd have gone for him. But as a fan base, if they were to sign him, certain fans wanted Petrovic. Lee, I know people I speak to through Having Channel wanted Petrovic. Petrovic is some Leeds fans' number one target. Fans. So again, it's not really the club that's impacted by these decisions anyway. It's the fan base. The fan base of we're the ones that's got to lick us wounds and and have this back and forth. You know, the club has to go toe to toe with them in the league, and ultimately see who finishes above who and ultimately stay up. Most important thing. But as a fan base, if we wanted Petrovic, or majority did, and Sunderland get him again, it's another blow for a fan, isn't it? But yeah, I don't think we were ever in for him when we put a bid in. But I would assume we'd be on our short list, as all these players are on. I would suggest. I can see our midfield being Tanaka and Longstaff. That wouldn't excite. Yeah, it wouldn't excite a lot of people. I 100% disagree, though, Skip. We'd love to have your bat here, wouldn't we? I think Ampadu starts in midfield with Tanaka, but I also think we'll play another midfielder in there. Maybe Stack if we sign him. I think I've just got a feeling we're going to go 3 in midfield and lose that 10. Do you think we could add someone like Stack or Longstaff, then play with Ampadu and then Tanaka in more? Yeah, exactly, BMG. I think that's where we'll go for it. I really do. I think that's where we'll go for it. Thomas Connolly, hello from Dublin. Great content. Cheers, Thomas. I'll be going to Dublin for my land game as well, mate. So if you're about, give me a shout. I'll have a pint with you. But yeah, thanks a lot for that, mate. I don't know if I've seen you in chat before. If I have, I apologise. If I haven't, then thank you for being here. Please stick a like and please subscribe if you don't mind, mate. Gary Hoyle, your comments are spot on, mate. We just don't know how many of these players will perform or adapt to the Prem. They could be exceptional for Sunderland or very well fall flat. I hope not. Yeah, that's it. But I admire Sunderland's ambition. It's football, yeah. And all we're told as a fan of a club that isn't a top 4, top 6 club, whatever that even looks like anymore, is it's all doom and gloom. You can't bridge that gap. It's a bit different because we're vying for survival with your club. But you put that aside for now. Fair fucking play. Give it a go. Give it a fucking go. Why not? As a fan, looking at another side, fair fucking play. If we were in Championship right now, I'd be cheering Sunderland all season. Go do it. Go prove them wrong. I love that. We get told we're going back down. I'd love it if all 3 of us stayed up. Fuck them. I hate all that. Season's over before the ball's kicked. Says who? So fair play, Sunderland, for giving it a go. Fair play. I just think we're a little bit more strategic about things and we know what we're facing because we were only here 24 months ago. And we've been burnt and we don't want to be burnt again. So we're just doing deals differently. Diarra wanted relegation release clause. Lee said no. 49ers don't want players. Yeah, 100%. I could see that definitely being one of the reasons why. 100%. Lee Sawyer making this up. It'll just be based on his opinion, probably, Tam. And a lot of football is opinions. You know, we'll never know the full truth of stuff ever. But does that seem like something that isn't the case? Does that seem out of the realms of possibility that Leeds United wouldn't put a relegation release clause in? Does that sound ridiculous that a player would come and demand a relegation clause? I don't think so. I think that's something a player would demand or would talk about in negotiations. And 100% Leeds are back that way now. So a lot of it's opinions. Oh, here comes Tommy Cow. I've been wondering where you were. 140 people in house, Tommy. And I've been wondering where you were, buddy. Sorry to dampen your spirits, but not one team that came up stand a chance this season, but all the best. And that's a nice comment, mate. You're entitled to your opinion. I get your opinion. I understand it. But if we believe that as fans of our own club, we may as well close YouTube channel down. There's no point fucking talking about it. There's no point going to games. We might as well let club fold and just fucking be done with it. You know, what's point? This is my crutch in life, this. I struggle with mental health. I have done for years. Leeds United's my crutch. And I fucking love this club. And I'll go wherever this club goes. But I tell you what, I ain't going into a season before we've kicked a ball thinking we're going down. There's fucking no chance. And you give me a prediction, Matty, when you're playing away at City. Maybe it's staring me in the face we'll get beat by 4 or 5-0. I ain't going to fucking say it. Even if up here's telling me. Because down here, it's got me in feels and I can't do it. I can't do it. It ruins my week. It ruins my mood. And that's just, it just is. Family and Leeds United, and sometimes I cross over. It's everything to me. I love my family and I love Leeds United, and they're my biggest passions. And I refuse to be told by the establishment, the Premier League, in general, the other fans, the media. I refuse to accept that because we've come up, we go straight back down, based on the fact the last 2 seasons that's happened. Go back season after season after season. It doesn't happen every year. It's happened 2 years in a row, recency biased. And if Leeds United and Sunderland, the size of the club, the scale, however you measure the size of a club, you are deluded if you don't believe Sunderland and Leeds are huge clubs. You're deluded. They are huge clubs. Based on whatever reason you pick, they're huge clubs. If we can't believe we're staying up, let's just fucking throw in towel now. What is the point in even fucking having a crack? There's no point. If we can't do it, there's no point promoting anyone next season because no one can do it. So, yeah, it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Bornal has some hops looking at that. Yeah, mate, he jumped well high. Reminded me like when, like Ronaldo, he's just got that natural spring when he can almost get his soles of his feet up to like his shoulders. Yeah, he's going to be a menace, mate. He's going to be, if he breaks into that side and plays big minutes, he's going to be such an asset. He really is. Gary Hoyle, after losing Frank, got to think the Bees will struggle. 100% agree, mate. 100%. Hey up, Patrick, another Sunderland fan here. Great channel, mate, as is Joe's and One Leeds. Good luck for the season. We can't quite believe the business we are doing. I love that comment. Thanks so much for being level-headed, respecting other fans like I respect you. And yeah, you should be excited. And I know it's a surprise to you boys after speaking to my mate Wayne. Did not foresee your club doing this sort of business, but fair play. And thanks for being respectful. And yeah, please subscribe and please come back for more. Like I said, there'll be a lot of Leeds and Sunderland content on here, mate. I really appreciate that, mate. You're a legend. We need a set piece coach. Well, I would assume we've either got one in, we're getting one in. You know, maybe it's not my breaking news. Leeds have signed a goalkeeper, a set piece coach. There's going to be more. We're gonna be looking at that more, aren't we? You don't sign 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" players and not focus on them. So in training, it's going to be focused on heavily, whether that's through a set piece coach or just practicing them more in training. I don't know, but we're going to be reliant on that for the goals. We're not going to score in terms of the quality being as good as it was at Championship for us. We had the best players. We won't have the best players now. In terms of getting more goals to bridge that gap from where we were last season to now, free kicks in and around the box, corners, defending set pieces, it's all going to come into it. You know, if we can keep a few more set pieces out, not that we were leaking loads last season anyway, but in general, keep a few out that we would have conceded. Score. I think we've got 6 or 7 set piece goals in this team next season. You know, as opposed to, I don't know how many we got last season, a few more than we've usually been used to. Maybe even more than that. It's going to, like you say, the best sides in the Premier League, even your Cities, your Arsenals, who notoriously are flair teams, have all this skill. They focus so heavily on set pieces too. They're also the best at set pieces, even though, you know, they pass you to death at times. And they don't always need the corners. In a gritty game, they've still got the corners. Gabriel for Arsenal pops up and scores one. Look at me talking about other clubs. I can't actually know football. I don't usually even watch football, just Leeds. And my son's team, I let them buy water miners. Oh my God, under 6s. Got my out of those little buggers. Don't stay too long. Be late for the gym. Yeah. Of course I will, mate. Off to make me tea. Cheese salad. Fair enough, Jammy, mate. Take care. Thanks for watching, mate. You're an absolute legend. Take it easy, buddy. Liam Moore, Harry Crackley reckons we have NC saw on radar. Potential loan. Brighton loaned him last season to Ipswich. Fair enough. I'll have to have a look at that, mate. If he said it's probably happened. A mad stat says Andy Schmidt professes to have a better second season when statistically he's bedded in. I hope it's not like an Ange quote. Yeah, I'm not too sure on Schmidt. I can see him going out on loan. I can, although is he a fullback? I thought if he's a fullback, we probably need him for cover, but I'm not too sure what his position is, and I'm not too sure he really rates him. To be honest, I saw 139 Matty. What's your current live record numbers? If I'm honest, this is probably up there. This could be potentially Andy. This has got as high as 145 tonight, which I think I've hit before when I've had Joe Wayman on. We've hit over 100 multiple times, in and around 100 to 110 a few times on late night leads as well. For me, coming on my own and talking, honestly, folks, I think this is the biggest stream I've ever done in terms of numbers. So thank you very much. I hope the people who were in here knew have all subscribed and enjoyed me waffling on. Gubbenson is done. Love that. Keep them coming, mate. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know I'm buzzing with that. Fahaka first gaffer out the door. We'll see what with Tommy. We'll see, lad. Matty, with your latest Mickey taking out of Man United, did you give any more subscribers from? Did you get? Not really in terms of YouTube. In terms of TikTok, yeah, I got quite a few. TikTok's popping off quite big, really. You're a comedian, you pal. You're a comedian. I've seen someone else say that as well, Ian. Yeah, no, mate. We'll stay away from him so you don't get him. Lee Sawyer, mate, you dominating this chat. Guy location. Never seen a week off season. We are only left with leftovers. Guy, that's wild, mate. That's wild. You've definitely seen a week off season, mate. We've definitely got to 2nd of July and signed less players than this, pal. 100%. We've definitely signed less players than this by the 2nd of July. So, by all accounts, we've signed Goodmanson as well, mate. No official. I assume that'll be tomorrow. If that's the case, what is there not to like about it? Because they haven't played in Premier League. I just don't agree. I don't agree, but it's all about opinions, buddy. Do we want a proven Prem goalkeeper? Honestly, Richard Parlett, I hope you're doing well, mate. I don't think he needs to be a Prem proven keeper at all. Honestly, I really don't. The bar is set so low for a goalkeeper. It's so low. A serviceable keeper. We saw it last season Championship, but an upgrade on Darlow for me it would be an upgrade on Melier's top bar. So yeah, I think it's something we can roll on a few more weeks for me until we get a goalkeeper sorted. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be I don't think he needs Premier League quality a keeper. No, that Perry at Leon would be ideal right now. Yeah. Dirty Leeds evening, Matty. Hey, but a bit underwhelming so far with the 3 signings, but hopefully a couple of quality names to come in. And I think it will. I think they will, pal. I think they will. I think so far has been smart business. Biol, everyone's happy with Biol at 15 million quid. Everyone's happy with that. The other two players both played for the national sides in Belgium and Germany, and only cost about 5 million quid for a pair of them. You've got one who's coming in to replace Voba. Yeah, maybe not a starter, but potentially could push. And he's replacing a player who hasn't played much football. And then you had Nemecha come in as well, who's probably replacing a Joseph or a Bamford, who's probably an upgrade on them too. So not every player is going to be a starter, but I'm liking the players we're bringing in as those fillers, as those potential bench options and squad depth players, because I do think their top end, when fit, is good enough to start in Premier League. I do, or they wouldn't play for Belgium and Germany for me. And that may be mad to some people, but that's just what I believe. Possible starters, in my opinion: Bogle, Rodon, maybe Strauch, Campbell, maybe Tanaka, maybe Taka. James, maybe Nonto or Ramazani, not Pido, but he could play 10, so 4 to see. I think about 4 or 5 starters needed, mate. I do. I agree. Yeah. Leeds are on about offering Melia a new contract, I think. So maybe Sunderland need to look at him. Yeah, if we really wanted these players, we'd get them. Yeah, well, I sort of agree with that, although there'll be people who don't. I do think Leeds' interest has made these stories bigger than what they are. If we hadn't been actually linked publicly with Diarra, which we know we were, and we put a bid in, Sadiki, was it a loose link? Was it a credible link? I think we were definitely in for Sadiki. If we hadn't been linked with them, would Sunderland be as bothered to sign them? I would say not. I would say Leeds' interest in these players has elevated their status in the media eye, like public eye, for a Sunderland now to go, look what we've got. I don't think they'd be that bothered. I think, if anything, maybe they'd be a bit more nervous saying, well, these two, I've never heard of them. But because Leeds were interested and they've been public knowledge for a couple of weeks now, Diarra, a lot of people, keeping an eye on that game when they played England to sort of see how he did. He got a goal, which, will have put him in public eye and shot window anyway. But in general, I sort of do think Leeds is interested. And this isn't me being a dick. Like, genuinely, I couldn't give a shit. Like, I'll call a spade. But I genuinely think Diarra and Sadiki, their profiles are being elevated by the media noise that Leeds have created. And Sunderland are now more, happier that they've beaten a rival to the signature for whatever reason. They've done it. I know the reason, it's probably down to finances, but I think they'd be less happy with these deals if no one would be linked with them. But the talent will still be the same. Solomon is a million times better than Ramazani. Don't rewrite history, mate. It's not. It doesn't suit you. It's just an opinion, mate. I disagree that Ramazan is a mile. Like, I disagree wholeheartedly that Solomon is a million times better than Ramazani. That's a statement there, mate. That doesn't suit you, Paul. He's definitely not a million times better than Ramazani. It's opinions. Ramazani was unbelievable till he got injured against Watford. Unbelievable. So yeah, he's not a million times better at all. He's not. If he's marginally better, fair enough. But that's your opinion. But yeah, it's way off saying he's a million times better. That's just not the case, Paul. Mini League currently stands like this. Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds, pull that finger out. Hi, Matty. Solomon had a spell when he was flat just after Christmas and after international break. Farker should have rested him. Yeah, I agree. I was saying it while I was in stands, mate. I was saying it while I was in stands. I really was. Hi, Matty in chat. Where is a clown? Where was the clown? Easy B has changed. Petrovic would be class. Yeah, it would, mate. It would. I think some deals will fall through due to clauses that we won't agree to, more than financial reasons. Oh, okay. Shane Dalton, all right from Dublin. Late lads. Hope you're all doing well. Cheers, Shane. Hope you're doing well too, mate. John Pepper, 49ers said they will pay 30 million on players no matter what, and that's true. Parag said it himself. Yeah. Mate, we Sunderland aren't sniping your targets. We have great scouting setup. Just happen to be interesting. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. It's just funny for sort of banter between sides and that media sort of attention in it. No one expected Bournemouth, Brentford or Forest to stay up, Matty, so why not Leeds and Sunderland? Because our two clubs are just as good as us. Yeah, I agree. I agree, mate. 100%. Well said, Matty. Cheers, Thomas. Appreciate that, buddy. Our board has never made a bad signing yet, so I'm not worried about signings. Yeah, I'm same, mate. I'm same. You can only go off what you've seen, can't you, buddy? And we haven't seen much bad business by him, so I'll have to take that. Matty, if you got an invite to Thorpe Park to interact with the players, what would you like to get them to do with you? Crossbar challenge or penalties? I love all that, mate. I love all that. Yeah, I agree, Shane. I'm same, mate. I'm same. It's just quite a funny dynamic at the minute. It's the first time I've been on for a while, very poorly, but so glad being able to catch up with Matty MOT. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that, buddy. Really do, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I've seen this, Paul. I've seen this. Yeah, I'm hoping we get him too, mate. Everything I've read about him and looked at him last few days looks really promising. Ian Brown, I do think we've gone up too early, but we are taking a gamble. Nothing to lose if we go up. Yeah, no, I think you may have gone up a year too early, but like I say, you're strengthening now to a point of you're really going to challenge staying up. You really are. Your club's, your board is backing your manager, and you can't ask much more than that as a fan, can you? For me, it's vital we get number 10. That's a cut above. Agree. I don't think we're going to go for a 10, mate. I really don't. I would love one. I'm all about that flair player in that 10. I've just got a feeling we're going to go to free midfield, and physicality and size and presence in the box is going to be more what we look for as a club. But I may be wrong with that. I'm hoping we do, because we need different options, don't we? The past 2 seasons, only Ipswich had a go, albeit they bought top-end Championship players. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Leeds and Sunderland can definitely stay up. Full clubs are stagnant, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. They knew they were going back down. They built a squad capable of winning the Championship. We're building a squad beyond that. We're building a squad who can stay in Premier League and build and establish ourselves. But yeah, you could see that with their signings last year, couldn't you? With Ipswich, it screamed, we'll give it a go. We spent some money, but the chances are we're going to go back down, so we'll sort of concede that and buy players capable of staying up potentially if it all goes well. But chances are we'll go down, but we're stronger for it, and I can't begrudge them that. To go from League One to Prem in 2 seasons, and now I think they'll grow from that now, rather than going back down and being a Luton. That one chance up there, and that stick with what you've got and go. You see more from Ipswich. You can see them now building and doing okay next year. Greenwood $1 million, Joffrey 3.6, Voba $2 million. Voba $2 million. It sounds too cheap, doesn't it? Sorry, Solomon is 1 billion times better. Oh, mad that, mate. Oh, mad. And Stack is way better than the 2 Sunderland have bought. His data is. Yeah, I would agree again, but it sounds salty. But I would agree. I didn't know about Stack until a couple of days ago. Looking at him, his stats are unreal. He's such a technically gifted footballer for a 6'4" lad. If you get someone who's 6'4" who's gifted with his feet, he's not just a big lump who you can lump it up to. He can play football. He's like a playmaker from the back. What is it not to like? And he's 6'4", so he's going to give you that as well. Nah, I'm buzzing with it. Genuinely hope Leeds stay up. Yeah, me too, Jim. We all lot with Sunderland. I really do. Do you think? Yeah, they must do. They must watch Lockie and that. They must do, mate. Let's see how the pre-season games go. Give these players a run out. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for the game against AC Milan. I'm going to Dublin for that with wife. Cannot wait. Brentford are in the shit. Their captain, Wembo, Frank, one of us have to stay up. Not a fucking chance of it's Burnley. Yeah, Burnley are going to get back down for me. The likes of Shearer and co reckon that most Prem clubs play with a good number 8, and there's lots don't play over 10. That's how I see it going. Why it's forever. That's how I see it going. But again, we'll have to see. Farker doesn't massively change his tactics, does he? So he plays a 4-2-3-1. If he goes with that again, I think it might be a bit of a struggle. If he goes with 3 midfield, there were times last 2 seasons where I think we should have gone 3 midfield and he didn't, and we suffered because of it. Yeah. Yeah, there is a few teams going stagnant. Lucky they've got such broad teams recently in the league. We can capitalise. Yeah, I agree. See you in there in Dublin, man. Yeah, Shane, if you see me, give me a shout and we'll have a beer. Right, I'm going to leave it there. That's been a mammoth show. 126 people watching. Those numbers are being insane, honestly. Thanks so much for tuning in. I massively appreciate it on a Wednesday night. Class. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed just being honest and having a chat. But can you really see Far going 4-3-3? In game, certain games, yeah. Certain games, yeah. I think we need another 5, mate. Another 5. Buy it will be, brother. I'll hold you to that, buddy. Oh, Tezza, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, mate, as always. Top show, Matt. I watched last 30 minutes. Cheers, Russ. Class, mate. Thank you. Yeah. Call it a night at that. Yeah. Please like, please subscribe on your way out. Honestly, I'm blown away by that stream. Fucking quality. Yeah, Late Night Leeds will be my next show on Friday. So please come back for Late Night Leeds with me, Sean and Adam. We'll be putting, there's plenty to get into. I want to get their opinions on all this as well. And, I didn't massively touch on Dan James's new contract, Firpo leaving. There's a lot still to dissect. So Friday night, I'll be back with them too. And tomorrow, Full Time to Talk on my second channel. Please check out Full Time to Talk, my football /mental health channel. More mental health and football, to be fair. really jump in there with some mates of mine from different clubs as well, and we chat mental health, chat football, and I've just done a stream tonight, which is going out tomorrow, so please check out Full Time to Talk. That's my second channel. I'd really appreciate that too. Thank you so much, and you will see me on Tuesday over on Wayne's channel too, on the Fools and SAFC. Thanks so much, man, honestly. Legends, man. Take care. Bye-bye.